Hey guys, it's Michael or Snitz. I'm just doing a little behind the scenes tour video of the Christmas light display that we built for 2020. So you can see through, basically got a nice little setup. We've got all the candy canes, we've got arches running along the front fence, followed by the matrix. We've got the trees on the roof, and we've also got snowflakes and all chroma trim along all the uprights and verticals. So yeah, we'll just have a quick look. We'll go across. I'll show you a few of the things and how we've done it. Most of the props we built, if we haven't built them, we've bought them from Extreme Lighting Displays. Big thanks to Troy for nice quick shipping and really easy getting them done. So start off here, we've got a total of 16 snowflakes. These are just the 30 centimeter snowflakes, 30 nodes. All of them are just bullet pixeled. These are just literally just all cable tied around the pillars, which hold the fence up. Here we've got all the arches, which is just made out of air cedar tubing. And then in here I've just drilled holes out, and then we've got the WS2811 bullet pixels. Each arch has 30 nodes for each of them. I haven't made anything super fancy with these. As you can see, they've all just got threaded rod going straight through it, and I've just drilled straight through. Got a couple of wing nuts so I could adjust them all to be the same size. And I knew everything was just getting cable tied to the fence, so you can see it's not really going anywhere. Having the fence was really easy to mount everything. I didn't have to worry about anything being freestanding. We've got the large candy canes. They're 48 nodes each. They're from Extreme Lighting Display. Around each outline of the fence, we've got pixels running the whole length of it. This is just some black trimming that I got off from Ray online, come from China. They've been up on the fence. I put them up pretty early. They've been probably 2 months already. Some of them been up for 2 months, and they've got a little soft over time, but they're still wrong. They're strong. They hold the lights in. They seem to be holding up really well. Everything is just conduit. This whole prop, everything here is built out of conduits. We've just got them made as a frame. They're all cable tied on. Got some snowflakes which are scattered out around. Most of them are just held up. They've got black poles which are either, once again, cable tied to something, or just on poles which are star pickets, but I'll get to them. All of the snowflakes are run off one port, which are just daisy chained through to each other, same as the candy canes. And then I've sort of got everything all labeled, and because you can see it sort of connects through. They've got pigtails going on and extension leads. Each fence has the same setup, but each fence is actually a different size, so that's nice and fun. But we managed to make them fit. It's just the middle fence is actually the smallest fence, so the candy canes and arches get quite close, but the rest of it looks good. Back to another fence. I've got 3 panels of that. Then I go over to the matrix. Now the matrix is just the Chroma mesh. Once again, purchased from Troy Extreme Lighting Displays. We got a total of 24 by 48 pixels, so it's 1152 pixels. That's set up over, it's 8 strands running off the control box, which you can kind of see in the back there, but we'll get to that. And then it's just got 2 candy canes, and then another snowflake, another couple of snowflakes. So we'll get into the back. I'll show you the little control box here that runs the pixel matrix. This is what I call the yellow box. I've sort of coded all my boxes in color, and then made it very easy to tell what color they are, because each line has the electrical tape, and then anything that I'm running a different power supply. So I've got 2 different power supplies in here, and so I've got power injection. I don't want to cross the lines. I've got a distinguishing mark on all the cables, so you know that don't cross those ones there. And in here I've just got 2 smart receivers and a power 8 and 2 power supplies connected. We used to have a nicer cable that fit nicely in there, but that was causing me some issues and causing the matrix to play about, and after pulling my hair out I couldn't work it out. But it turns out it was just the Ethernet cable, no X-Lights configuration issue or anything. But yeah, that seems to fix it really well. And yeah, power injection, these are good. They got some fans in there, so they blow some cold air around. We ran around for a while, nothing overheated. It was really good. These boxes seem nice and strong, they're going to hold up. Yeah, got all the ports. Ethernet cable coming into the side, which then runs to my main box, which is out the front yard. And yeah, excuse the cabling there. And that's the back of the matrix. Alright, so we're now back behind the megatree. So the megatree is just 16 strands by 50 pixels, so a total of 800 nodes. And yeah, it works really well. I know it's probably a little ghetto for some people's megatrees. As you can see, it's really, we've got a couple of star pickets hammered into the ground going in 60-70 centimeters, anchored to a bigger pole. Then we've kind of used the bamboo pole to help straighten it, and then we've got a topper which is made out of it's a garden pot holder with about 3 bolts going through it to hold it right on. It's really strong, it really held up. It's gone through a couple of storms already and it doesn't thing. Moved it all. We got a Chroma star up there which has got 90 pixels in it. They're cable tied to the top, and then just use these bungee cords here which hold it really tight and it gives it a nice look. I was a little worried about how I was going to do this since I've never built a megatree before. It probably shows, but it's good, it holds it up. I had to get over this hedge. So you can see it's a little bit lower than the hedge height, but it works really well. You can see it from the street. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turns out, and at night it looks really good. It's really tight and it doesn't have any slack in it. It's quite good. All of this runs down to my main control box in the front yard, which is also running that snowflake and that snowflake, which are just daisy chained through. You can see I've this is not the neatest cabling, but everything sort of runs through into the garden. Everything's plugged in at the back there. And you'll never guess what color I call this box. This is my red box. This is my big one. This has got four 350 watt 12 volt power supplies. I'm all running 12 volt pixel nodes, and this has got a Falcon F16 V3 and the expansion board, as well as one of the expansion distribution boards, which I know I've only got run output on there, but I sort of future-proof built this so I know I can add on in the future. I got enough room here to add more Ethernet outlets if I wanted to, and then I can run more off this board, because at the moment I'm really underutilizing my controllers. But being first year I've done this, I really didn't want to do too much power injection, so that's why I sort of one megatree run straight off an F16, and it works the charm. If I had to build this box again, I would probably build it if I could get it wider. It was a pain trying to get, I've got 32 pigtails and cable glands coming off this just for the leads alone, plus 2 Ethernet and 2 power. But it works, and you can see there's more off there, and once again I've done my distinguishing the different power supplies. And then I just got a little box here that just has the power leads up there. It's all on bricks, so it's off the ground. We do get a lot of water up here, or a lot of rain, sorry, and I didn't want anything to get wet, even though these should all be waterproof. Everything is like watertight, but better be safe than sorry. And you can see you just got a nice little thing, keep it off the ground. Next we're going to go upstairs. We'll go up, have a look at that, and then I'll show you how we've done all the cable tying and the chroma trim. You can kind of see it along the top there, all runs along. That's, once again, it's just a chroma trim from Troy Extreme Lighting Display. They work really well. It does the upright, it does the horizontals, and it does the verticals. And you can see on the front fence, on the stair rail, sorry, I've just using, once again, just that black strip we've just got from Ray. And it really works. It just gives a nice, neat, uniform look. It's really simple. These are the main uprights that I've got. Once again, you can see they're just cable tied, and you can see it's just the Chroma trim with pixels. They're doing every 3 spacings. I don't think I need to do any more than that. It gives a nice enough look. It also limits that I don't need to have any power injection. This it's only 75 pixels the whole run. I've got 3 main big pillars. So I've got that one. This is pillar 1, which I've had to run off the drain pipe, but you don't notice it from the street. No, second one, and then I've got 2 smaller ones which I didn't go down all the way due to it was going to be under the carport. I didn't know if you were going to see it from the street with the cars being in there, but you can see it. I think next year what I'll do is, you can see I've sort of just stopped it there. I'll probably definitely run it down. It won't add too much to it, but I think it'll just nice finish off the look and just give a bit of extra light. Because if you're standing on the other side of the street over here, you'll definitely see it. But I've sort of built the show to be watched. Sorry, I know we've got a big vacant block of land out there that's not built on. It's really to be watched over there. That's probably the sweet spot to see the show, and that's where I built it with X lights. So that's where I like to stand and watch the lights. So there's about 6,230 odd pixels that do this whole house. Each one of them is cut and counted and cut to length, and then with the pigtail soldered onto the end of it. Probably a little naive on my first year, decided to do everything custom, but it worked out really well. I quite like the look of making the own cables. Yeah, you can see it's just all heat shrunk onto a pigtail, straight in. But yeah, so the stairs are done there. An underutilized thing, I think. I can add a lot more effects to it, but I haven't really done too much with it. But next year I'm thinking maybe could even light down on the steps, but I don't know. We'll add some more stuff to it. Handrail. These ones here, you can see they're just all along on the inside, just cable tied to the top, holding it in. Once again, bullet pixels just shoved in. Some people ask how I've got the straight lines. You can kind of see it's all conduit. And then we've got a couple of clips. They're just like, I think they're 30-cent clips from Bunnings. They're just screwed into the wood, and then they're just stuck up there, and they hold really strong. And then yeah, we've just got them the whole length. They're on the whole length of the house, and it gives a really good effect. I look here going, maybe it's not super straight, but when the lights are on, you don't notice it, and it looks really good. Same as here, got a snowflake, just a guy rope holding the mega tree up. A couple of snowflakes, they're just mounted with a hook in the board up there. And that one there is just 3M tape, that's on. This was a kind of cool thing to make. It's just made out of air seeder tube, and it's only held in there by gravity. We made it the exact same size, so it just slides in. And yeah, it's a really nice little outline effect. It's something I wanted to show on the house, because not very many houses, I guess, have round windows, but it's just a nice little effect. We got a speaker there, and I've got another one just over there behind the chairs, which we don't have them up loud, but it was just our first night we decided to have these here. But I don't have a Tune 2 sign, but I do have an FM transmitter, but I'll get to that. Another box. Yes, prize for everyone who can guess the color of this box. Once again, this is exactly the same as the Matrix box, and I swapped out the cable again. I bought 4 of the same cables. One failed. I wasn't going to run the risk of losing more, so I just swapped them all out and wasn't going to bother with the headaches. And yeah, you can see all the pigtails running out through there. These boxes are actually really good. They fit a bit in there, and they blend in nicely with the concrete paint, so you don't notice them. The front door is outlined. Once again, conduit, and then just cable tied these strips onto it. And that fits in well. I've got a couple of little clips up the top, just holding it in. and yeah, it's a nice little feature. I like outlining the windows and stuff. It looks kind of cool. I think it's a kitchen window. Oh, no, it's just a small pantry window I've got. Once again, conduit the whole way around, strips attached to it. This one here, I just pigtailed a snowflake onto it. It's just a little T-piece. It's capped off. We were going to run power injection on it, but I didn't need it, so I just decided to not worry about running it, and it looks fine. That's just a bigger version of a window. Once again, everything is conduit. I bought so much conduit this year, and this is pretty much, oh no, it was held in by gravity, but it's just held in by one clip. You can see it, it's just that one there. This is as neat as I could get the cables, trying to hide it, like they're not in the way of the lights. It goes up. I've got power injection going into that snowflake just to, I was sticking to the rule of thumb, anything over 100 lights, we just chuck in some power, so I think this is about 100 and something, and with that, an extra 30 lights. I've got my control box up here. This is my white box, which controls most of the house and a little bit of the carport. And this is a main control, so my second main control box, which has got another F16 V3 in there, going off into another expansion board. It's only running 2 power supplies in there and a distro power 8. And then I've just got, yeah, my Ethernet outs. Once again, I can add more onto this if I need to. I've got plenty of room. And yeah, I've got unused caps, so I've got more expansion for next year if I need to. Snowflakes mounted off conduit once again, and just cable tied. This box here is an old Esky, but in here is well, that's running the speakers, so the FM transmitter. The radio picks up the FM transmission, goes into that, which is outputs to that, outputs to the speakers, which are behind the bush, and one on that table over there. I've got my Pi, I've got network switch, I've got my my FM transmitter, and the radio. And so that all holds everything in there nicely. It's sort of out the way, it's weatherproof, but it still gets a bit of airflow in there, and we're undercover up here, so it should be fine. Ideally, I'd like to build a little control box for it, but this worked out really well. This is my blue box. This is, once again, exactly the same as the green one and the yellow one. It was really handy building boxes almost identical. And building with the Perspex, just like it raises the boards up, it's easy to get to, and it looks really open. I was quite a fan of it, and I can lift this out, like the whole thing just sits in there, and these can screw off, and I can take the whole panel off, and I've got plenty of wire to actually bring it out if I need to get to the power supplies or any drama, but at the moment it seems to be going fairly well. We tried to run the cables here as neat as we could, so everything's sort of bundled up coming off the roof, and then we've got ones going down here. I've tried to keep my Ethernet and my the power, mainly the AC, not so much DC. I didn't really get any interference with DC, but where I have AC next to the Ethernet, I didn't want any disruption. So with this box here, I've got my data going out under the stairs and popping out over here, but my power goes into a little waterproof box, and then it runs just along the power, and you can see it just going downstairs, and it plugs into an outlet down there. And my little trip hazard, might need to do something a bit more than that, but it seems to be working at the moment. Alrighty, we are now up on the carport. As you can see, the outline is done, and none other than conduit and black strip. And then it's sort of, we've just managed to cable tie it. Lifted a couple of the roof screws up and cable tied them down. They're all UV resistant cable ties. We've had stuff up here for ages. They seem to be holding up. These ones here have been up for a while. I sort of built it, had nowhere to store it, so I chucked them straight up there. A little discoloration in the plastic, but the lights still work fine. And that does the whole run up along the back and the front. So I've got my 180 large mini trees, I guess. 105 pixels, extreme lighting display. I got them from there. They're really good. They're just mounted, both of them, except they're all the same. Just a piece of wood, cable tied on the back of it, bolted down into the roof. Lift up one of the roof screws. You don't even notice that it's on a bit of an angle from the street. It looks really good. Quite like it. I've just got the 3 of them. Cables running neatly, so you don't notice this from the street at all because they're in one of the valleys. And then I've got something that I think's my biggest surprise of making the props for the first time was what I call my mini mega tree. It's 16 strands by 23, so I think it's like 368 pixels. That's what I do all my singing faces on, and I know it is quite ghetto, but at night it looks really good. I don't think that's going to last the season. We do have plans to sort of fix it, but I'll sort of just get it up, test it. If it works in theory, then we'll make something work. But at the moment it's holding up, and that's just a bigger tube. Then a lot of PVC glue, and this is almost like a pool filter, a pool cover thing glued onto it. And this is the same setup as what my main mega tree is, which is holding up fine. It's just I've used the outer ring for it. This one here I've just cable tied on the inner ring, give it that narrower mount at the top, and then I've just got a 40 node star on top, which looks quite good. This is running off the blue box. It's running off its own smart receiver, so it's over 4 outlets, and I've just got power injection on the one. I did really try to keep all my runs under needing power injection. Just, I don't know, I think I was scared of power injection at the start, but it seems to be pretty easily once you get your head around it. But yeah, that's my standout thing. Next year I want to make 3 more of them, and I'll replace these 3 with little mini mega trees, and they'll be my singing faces. I think they look really good. A lot of people who have come and seen the couple of shows that I've done did like them. They stand out really well. I think it's high. They're only got 1 spacing between each pixel, so they got a pixel, a hole, then a pixel, and it's dense enough to actually make out the face. And yeah, the singing props on there look really good. And I've got different colored trees. I've had skulls. Yeah, and it's just got a couple of guy ropes holding it down, and it really doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. We've got the hula hoop mounted to the roof as well. But yeah, so as you can see, the mega tree's mounted over there, which is really good, and they're similar heights. That tree and that star is very similar, which is kind of what I wanted to go for. Yeah, if you want to see how it's done here, once again, we've just got these clips. A lot of people asking, how do I get it so straight? And you can kind of see in this image, it's not the straightest. But yeah, it's just these clips and conduit, and then everything else is held in by cable ties. Next year, maybe something on the roof, but I don't know. We're just trying to get through this season first. I think I don't want to bite off more than I can chew at the moment. So from the front, we've also got, I forgot to mention before, we just got the uprights on the carport. I tried to do all of it. I didn't really want to go too much with the shapes that aren't in the house. I quite like the outline look. But yeah, I definitely think I'm going to do these 2 poles in the future. I was thinking about doing them this year, but I've got the show up and running now, and I don't really want to change too much while it's working. It seems to be good. Next year, stuff will go in here. There's a lot of blank space. I definitely want to use that up. But yeah, that's my show, guys. All the behind the scenes. So it's, yeah, 6,000 pixel, just over 6,000 pixels, 2 Falcon F16 controllers, plus a lot of smart receivers. Yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, thanks.